Welcome back. The president drew fire this week after announcing he would seek to cancel a 2.1% pay raise for federal employees. Now, by saving the $25 billion cost of the scheduled increase, Mr. Trump says he's putting the nation on a more fiscally sustainable course. Citing the $1.5 trillion Republican tax cut, Democrats called Mr. Trump's pay hike cancellation yet another slap in the face of American workers. Laura Moser, I guess you probably have something to say about this.
It is nothing but a slap in the face. And we all know that if you make, say, $60,000 a year, this is about $1,000 in your paycheck. That makes a tremendous difference in the life of a working American. Compare that to the Koch-mandated $1.5 trillion tax cut. No one in the current GOP can claim to have any fiscal responsibility. This is a tax on public employees are a way, they're sort of the soft underbelly of attacking the labor movement. And Democrats should be talking about this. This hurts people. It helps corporations, just like the tax cut. You can't do both. Get rid of the tax cut. Give people their $1,000.
Steve Toth, the president's move justified?
You bet. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. This is the Democrats' idea of the American worker, someone that works for the federal government. The idea of job creation for the Democrats is more government jobs. Look,
that's Republicans.
No. Let's
look at those contracts.
In a second, Tomaro.
All right.
The reality is that government workers are paid above the scale of what someone in the private sector makes. They have better pay, they have better benefits, they have better retirement. Trump is saying we're going to put an end to that. We're going to bring them in scale with the private sector, which is the way it should be.
But with inflation going up, isn't this tantamount to a pay cut? I'm going to go.
Inflation isn't going up.
Okay, look here. This is what I said about Republicans, okay? Because they figure you just a federal worker, you working for the federal government. They don't look at that when they looking at the massive military contracts that they give out to companies like Boeing and those big companies, like the money that funnels down for infrastructure that goes to Williams Brothers, because that's another form of welfare. Because you're not getting a monthly check, you're getting a contract. And so I see no difference because they didn't get a pay cut. They still giving out federal contracts. If they give out the federal contract for building that wall, those people are going to get cha-ching paid.
Okay, Bill.
So for either side of my partisan friends here to talk about fiscal responsibility is a joke. During the Obama administration, the federal debt nearly doubled. Since Trump has been president, we've been adding $100 billion a month to the federal debt at a rate just as high as Obama. Both of these parties are addicted to debt.
I wonder when we find out whether the tax cut actually generates the revenue that's supposed to justify. Go ahead.
We see it right now in the stock market. I mean, we see consumer spending and consumer optimism way up in the air. We have the stock market reaching peaks that it consistently is outpacing itself. We see a great year ahead, and actually, if you look toward the holiday season, they're projecting an incredible holiday season coming up as far as the, with all the shopping that they are anticipating, with consumer spending coming in at high levels. So the stock market and what people are actually doing is proving out that these tax cuts have been working because they're putting the money back into the economy, which is the purpose of the tax cuts to begin with. So when we talk about bringing home $1,000, that's exactly what this tax cut did for many, many, many American families in what we call the middle class. And we're seeing those benefits come through in the reports on Wall Street.
We will be watching. Moving elsewhere, there was some bipartisan agreement this week. Republicans and Democrats alike criticized the president's decision to raise the flag at the White House when banners at the Capitol and other government buildings remained at half-staff in honor of departed Senator John McCain. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham called the president's decision, quote, disturbing. After very vocal objections by veterans groups like the American Legion, the White House flag was again lowered. Meantime, McCain was eulogized this weekend by both the 43rd and the 44th presidents.
President Bush and I are among the fortunate few who competed against John at the highest levels of politics. He made us better presidents, just as he made the Senate better.
Okay, Tony, jump in here.
You know what? I know Bill King laments that there are no partisan folks, or there are folks that are not in the middle. That era's over, Bill. There's no one in the middle right now. So I want to say one thing.
Actually, not true.
I want to say one thing. you know what? I don't agree with some of McCain's decisions or his politics, but I do respect the fact that you knew where he stood. And even in death, he wanted to defy. He wanted to defy Trump because he didn't believe in him. And I think, again, you can disagree with the guy, but I gotta say, I always knew where he stood. And at the end of the day, it's very petty for the leader of the most powerful country on earth to, even in the death, not to forgive a slight, not to be magnanimous. It's very disappointing for him to represent us in this moment. And I think it's tragic for the Republican Party to be at this new era where one of the last giants, one of the last big guys, one of the last guys with guts is now deceased.
Steve Toth, you are a class act.
Wow, thank you, Greg.
But you're all supporting the president. This was not super classy.
So White House protocol calls for the flag to be lowered, and it was lowered. White House protocol also calls for a 24-hour period for the flag to be raised again, and it was raised again, according to White House protocol. Now all of a sudden, Democrats that called John McCain a racist when he ran against Barack Obama are now saying, wow, the flag should be lowered longer. Come on, Greg, you can't have it both ways. This is silly. He did exactly what protocol called for him to do, and then he raised it again.
Tomaro Bell knows all about good home training.
There you go, damn protocol. This was petty. That was a perfect word, Tony. Because let me tell you, in the past, even when Barbara Bush died, the flag was lowered longer. This man, whether I agree with his patriots or not, I am what I am when you meet me. Popeye the Sailor Man ain't got nothing on me. That's how John McCain was. I am proud of his patriotism. This week, we lost 2 patriots. I mean that. We lost John McCain, who fought not on the ground. He didn't ask for a deferment. He didn't beg to get another. He was a senator's son who refused to go home till his boys could go home with him. That's a hero. Anybody who got a deferment and could get it anytime should never judge anybody else's stance on the ground because you was too damn chicken to go there with them.
Okay, Bill, final word on this.
Well, I think what you see, this kind of debate, is exactly why half the American people now refuse to identify with either one of these political parties. The people that say, I refuse to say I'm either a Democrat or a Republican, is at an all-time high going all the way back to the 1950s, and exactly for this kind of petty stuff. You know, nobody's talking about the debt. Nobody's talking about the number of people that don't have health insurance. Nobody's talking about all the other issues we have. They're too busy talking about where the flag is. I mean, come on.
Okay, got to leave it there. Coming up for the first time in a long time, the central villain in the Enron swindle is outside prison walls. The release of Jeff Skilling is our next topic, so stick around.